How often do you think about the Oscars? I mean, really think about the Oscars. I know we all think about them for like 3 months at the start of the year when the race is actually on, but like, how often do you actually think about how many movies have won an Oscar? It's over 1,000 at this point, over 1,050 actually. They range in genre from sci-fi to horror to drama to comedy to drama to romance to drama to Jesus Christ. There's so many dramas, you guys. You don't even know. And they range in quality from genuine classics we still talk about to this day to hidden gems we've forgotten unfairly to genuinely some of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. But all those movies are kind of a snapshot of where culture was at the time they won, because they won Oscars, because they were considered big and important enough to be Oscar nominees, because the Academy saw something in them, even if we don't totally get it. So the premise of this podcast is this. Every episode, I will randomly determine an Oscar-winning movie, get two volunteer guests to talk about it with me, and we'll chat. The discussions will be a little free-form, a little loose. The only requirement for guests is that one of the three of us, either myself or one of my guests, has to be watching the movie for the first time. At least one. Sometimes it's all three of us. That's fairly common, actually, because a lot of these movies are more obscure than you might think. I would like to note that a movie's inclusion is not a recommendation of its quality. I saw the TV Glow, my favorite movie of 2024, didn't get nominated for any Oscars. Whereas Amelia Perez, one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever seen in my life, won two. It's also not an endorsement of anyone who won an Oscar or was in an Oscar-winning movie. People who are cruel or thoughtless or racist or other forms of bigoted or absolute monsters have won Oscars. We sure all have a laundry list of those kind of people who have won awards, and I don't like that. I don't think anyone else does, but I don't think it's helping any of us to pretend that it's not the case, to pretend that these people didn't win their awards, and to pretend these movies don't exist. Even monsters can make great art sometimes, and even good people can make terrible art, so we're gonna find out what kind of movies win Oscars together. It's gonna take a while to examine them all. A lot of movies have already won Oscars, and it's not like they're stopping doing ceremonies while I'm doing my podcast. So, I hope you want to come along. And with all of that in mind, I am your host, as always, Ellie McConaughey, and with me today is Jasmine Garcia.
You know, I think we should let Julie Andrews character live their best gender fluid life. I think it would fix this wounded nation.
It's not even in this nation, it's in France!
I don't care!
And Bex.
Unfortunately, all but one man in this movie look the same, which makes it very hard to follow at times.
I'm starting to suspect that, like, everyone in this podcast group but me has some sort of face blindness.
Nope, I did not have that problem, so it's definitely...
No, I'd say I recognized about 3 of the leading men, and then all of the supporting men had the same exact face, and I had no idea what was happening at any given moment in any of the men's subplots.
And we are here today to talk about Victor Victoria, the 1982 Julie Andrews musical that won Best Original Song Score and its adaptation or adaptation score at the 55th Academy Awards. Despite being nominated for, like, fucking everything.
Oh, wow. That seems to happen a lot, unfortunately.
Such as the Oscars, but it means we get a lot of movies to cover. And it's also our Pride Month coverage. We're all being gay.
Thank you for giving me a much better Pride Month selection than last year.
I'm sorry about last year.
I think we're still regretting California Suite a bit.
Knowing what movie we're covering next, I will say California Suite will lose its title as worst Pride Month coverage. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh no, I'm scared.
All I'm gonna say is, this movie was a fun romp.
This movie was a fun romp. I was technically, because, like, I'm the first one who gets recruited, obviously. I'm technically fulfilling our never having seen it requirement, and I was very surprised. This is an extremely... Like, the gay guy gets a happy ending at the end, doesn't he?
Basically.
Multiple gay guys get a happy ending at the end of it.
Yes.
Yeah, because he gave Bernstein a rose. That's about as romantic as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
So good for them.
Good for them. I will say, it is still a movie from the 80s. It's a little gendery at points. I will also add that my Letterboxd review reads, James Garner is having a gay panic and he's going to make it everyone's problem.
God, I did not like King at all.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree.
Okay.
You disagree? Disagree.
Somewhat.
Fire away.
Okay, so should we get into the basic plot first?
Probably wise.
We can do, like, I know it's been a while since you've been on here, but I don't really do plot summaries.
This is also true.
The long and short is a woman trying to find work as a singer.
As a soprano specifically, which is very funny because this is a pre-Wicked soprano, so if she's already having problems, it's got to be dire in about 20
So there's
years.
this broke woman played by Julie Andrews, right? And then there's this gay agitator played by the Music Man. I know he has an actual name, but to me,
He's Harold Hill.
Robert Preston is simply just the Music Man.
Correct.
Have I ever seen the Music Man? No.
What?
Look, shockingly, as big a theater fan as I am, and I think I might be the biggest theater fan that's ever been on this pod or any of my friends adjoining pods, movie musicals are the big gap in my knowledge. This was also my first time watching Victor Victoria.
Well, yeah, it was mine too.
So, anyways, Julie Andrews, she's broke as a joke. The Music Man, he's gay as the day.
And also broke.
Yes, they are both broke.
And he suggests, what if you dress up as a man, and as a man, dress up as a woman, and we'll get you parts in shows that way. And it is, gender is just kind of a thing. It's just kind of there. Like,
it is a woman pretending to be a man, pretending to be a woman, and then later there's a, for its time, quite intelligent conversation about how she finds it empowering to be pretending to be a man. A lot of doors are open to her that would never be.
mm-hmm.
This movie has so much to say. This movie came out in
82. Literally, the AIDS crisis was beginning, and they got away with this.
Shocking amount of stuff to say about gender.
I should also add, it came out in 82. It is a remake of a German film from 33.
And it kind of feels like it's in the style of movies from the 30s, which is why I think the pacing feels a little wonky.
The pacing feels a little wonky. Its tone is kind of odd. It can't decide what, it's always comedic, but it can't decide what flavor of comedic it's going for.
Sometimes it can't decide how serious it wants to be. Sometimes there's breathtaking sincerity, and sometimes sometimes it turns into a slapstick. Everything with the private investigator.
Whenever the private investigator walks on screen, the movie just very briefly turns into like a Pink Panther sequence. I don't know why.
Well, no, because you know why?
Yes.
Because Blake Edwards directed all the Pink Panther movies.
Well, yes.
He was trying to prove he could do Madcap and Wacky without Peter Sellers, which, understandable.
Could he? Did it work?
I don't know.
I feel like it's to the detriment of the film, almost.
Yeah. And also everything goddamn ordeal in the area nightclub. My God. Like, it feels like every couple of scenes, somebody's getting punched in that club.
That's sort of the thing that struck me as I was watching it. Like, the inspector is our madcap bridge. He is there to do that. But honestly, the stuff the madcap stuff that worked is just this running bit about how Victoria and Toddy can't seem to like go fucking anywhere without starting a riot, which is a great bit.
Toddy just starting shit everywhere.
I love Toddy. I'm not even gonna lie.
No, he's great.
I love aging bitchy queens, and he's a good one.
It's hard not to. Yeah, no, I'm actually really embarrassed of how long it took me to realize that was in fact Harold Hill, because yeah, his voice is exactly the same, but it's just like visually I could hardly recognize him.
He opened his mouth and I was like, You got trouble right here in River City.
Yes.
I only saw The Music Man for the first time last year, so
I'll watch it eventually.
and I'm older than both of you, so you can both like get it in your life before I got it in my life.
Yeah, no, I first watched it in high school. I got you all beat.
I haven't even seen Singing in the Rain. I'm a bad musical theater movie person.
Well, get on that.
That one I'm in the same boat with, and that's eligible for my podcast too. So
Well, that's what I'm here for.
We'll do it at some point. But
But
yes, gender.
gender. I was texting with my girlfriend at one point about the movie.
Gay.
I really wished, yes, I really wished that I could have watched it with them because it's like they're butch, and I was like, so Julie Andrews in this movie is like hardcore gender for any butch people, right? Like that's where we're going.
Well, the thing is,
A 1982 film by John Carpenter.
that's Charlotte's joke.
so true, which I also have never seen. But here's the thing by John Carpenter. When I was a young closeted child, there would be gifs of Julie Andrews in this movie roaming around the internet. And I was like, that's what I want to look like. And never really interrogated why.
Oh.
And then as I got older and stepped out of the closet, I was like, huh. The thing about Julie Andrews for me is that I'd always wanted short hair my whole life, forever. Well, maybe not my whole life, but since puberty, I had always wanted short hair. I really have a lot of baggage and drama tied up still into hair as identity, hair as presentation, hair as presentation of maybe your parents through yourself for understandable reasons, but reasons that nevertheless might have harmed you as a kid.
I mean, when I moved in with my not great grandparents, one of the first directives I got was I had to start going by a more masculine variant on my dead name, and I had to cut my hair. So yeah, I get it.
Yes. Julie Andrews in a suit.
Hallelujah.
Yep.
I guess, well, I also guess I didn't realize. I don't know. I guess I didn't realize that like women could wear suits. I don't know. I just remember very vividly finding these Julie Andrews gifts on Tumblr and being absolutely gobsmacked. And I also knew a lot about Victor Victoria because they later made it into a stage adaptation in 1990 something. Hang on.
In
While
the
you're trying to figure-
90s.
Yeah,
Yes, I got it. In 1995.
there we go.
And they actually did professionally film it. So if you want, you could
Ooh.
also watch the pro shot. It's available for free on YouTube. They filmed it for Japanese TV at the time. Strange. But the thing about the Broadway production is it was 1995. It was infamous for a couple reasons. Julie Andrews turned down her Tony nomination. She was the only person out of the entire production to get a nomination for anything, and she felt it was disrespectful to the cast and crew, especially because Victor Victoria had been nominated for a bunch of other things in the other drama categories that year.
What a queen.
And second, one, she had a 4-week break in which Liza Minnelli took her role as a vacation swing and slayed the house down. Everyone loved that. And then two, the second time she left the show was to get her infamous vocal surgery that took her 4-octave range. So this ended up being her last musical theater role and her last
Oof.
the last time she really could she could sing now, but she lost her octave. She could never be the Julie Andrews who grew up in love, and she knew that, and she sued the living shit out of the doctor, and she won.
Yes, as she should.
But I just remember I consider myself a Julie Andrews historian. I just remember Victor Victoria. I was like, oh, this is that moment.
Mm-hmm. Which really, knowing that this was her last role as a soprano makes that scene where she's watching, I guess it was Madame Butterfly, and just sobbing hurt even more.
Right. Especially because this was filmed. This Also, it took a while to come to Broadway, like 1995 versus
Yeah.
1982. So she had done other soprano stuff in the middle. She did Sondheim's Putting It Together in
Of
92.
course.
But yeah, thinking about that, I don't know. That opera scene was special. Thinking about that, thinking about the history it didn't know it has is crazy.
It's kind of really tragic foreshadowing there.
That montage also. Okay, but the montage where they're trying each other's activities was crazy. Okay, so what? Let me explain why I don't entirely hate King.
Okay.
That actor is charming as hell.
James Garner? Yeah, I know.
Eh.
And again, this is taking real life text into the story. That scene where their second scene in bed where they're like, there's no secrets between us, one day at a time, be honest with each other. Those were Julie Andrews and Blake Edwards' wedding vows, or at least those were promises they made to each
Oh,
other in their marriage and tenets they upheld.
that is very sweet. Yes, but
That is very sweet. I will say that I have also seen the gift set of Julie Andrews as Victoria, like menacing Norma by walking towards her undressing. And frankly, if I'm Norma in that scene is ending different.
yeah.
Well, to be fair, she did say lock the door.
Yeah, and then she cowered it out when it turned out she was a woman. I think Toddy is right about Norma. She is one good strapping away from. I'm going to stop that sentence right there.
No, you're not. Honestly, listen. I was because here's the thing: is Norma a little homophobic? Yes,
Yes.
but did I kind of want it to be about her and Victoria? Also, kind of yes, because Norma's just more fun.
Is Leslie Ann Warren a comedic genius?
Yes,
Yes.
obviously, and very hot.
How did I not realize that she was in Clue,
Yeah, she's Miss Scarlet.
which I've also never seen?
Oh my
Oh
god,
God, we
Vex.
got to fix that too.
I know.
The problem I run to with King is, and I'll let you get to your story about the gift sets in a moment, Jasmine. Sorry, but the problem I run into with King is like, it's not that it's not that James Garner and Julie Andrews don't have chemistry. It's that like she has much more chemistry, non-sexual, with Toddy,
This is true.
and it just sort of it undercuts the entire relationship because I'm just like, every time I'm watching them together, I'm like, can we get back to her and Toddy just bouncing off each other? This is more fun.
Queer platonic soulmates, yes, but also like it's just she gives up so much for this man, and like yes, the opera scene does kind of help a little bit. It's like okay, she's also trying to get back the chance to do that as well, so at least it's not just for the sake of her man, but it is a little bit like
Is now a good time to admit I fully don't understand the ending, the everybody laughs ending?
yeah, that's like the meanest portrayal of drag in the whole movie.
Toddy is doing an intentionally bad performance, basically, to be like, okay, this is Victor's last performance because he's pretending to be Victor.
Yeah.
It's a weird ass ending. I think that King is a really interesting character, to be clear. Like, I'm very interested in the fact that he, like, for instance, when he gets read as gay, he feels like he has to go out and get in a fight about it to reclaim some masculinity. That's an interesting character beat, but I don't think he should end up with Victoria.
No.
Victoria should end the movie single or fucking Norma into the next week. But
I mean, Norma's also not the greatest.
She's not, but she's also more fun.
Leslie Ann Warren is lovely. Norma,
Yeah, but Norma's also a lot more fun than King, which
Norma's an awful character, but she's like, every time she's on screen, I'm like, I am paying attention.
it's like yay.
That shot of Squash walking away from the train while Norma walks on the train after him ranting is just like 10 out of 10 shot. Very good.
speaking of which, Squash. The fact that we got a character like that in the 80s that was a gay man but was also like a brawler and rough and tumble and was explicitly like, well, that's what you had to do if you didn't want to get called gay. That character rocks. He busts a door down and then he comes out to his boss weeping. That character rocks.
Yeah, no, I loved him. Also, that's Mongo from Blazing Saddles, which blew my mind.
I've never seen that movie.
You literally just had a movie night.
Mongo only pawn in Game of Life.
In Game of Heterosexual Life.
But, like, I think that despite the fact that in the real world, the 80s were, let's be clear, an extraordinarily bad time to be queer,
This is true.
the late 70s and early 80s is when we started to see gay people appearing in movies, maybe not necessarily mainstream movies, but like movies that were seen where they weren't portrayed as like monsters or tragedies. You know, La Cage aux Folles was a few years before this, Desert Hearts was a couple years after. You know, we were getting there in the media. It's just we also had a different guy from the media in charge who
Reagan.
well, you know, if I say what I think about Reagan, we'll get another visit from the Secret Service.
Another? Oh, right.
Yeah, but to say the least, we went from being in the chokehold of the Hays Code to being in the chokehold of Reaganism.
And like, you know, this movie wasn't like, you know, fucking Jurassic Park or anything, but it was a well-received, well-selling movie. Like, people did go see it.
Ellie, I would argue that while Julie Andrews was very important to me as a young closeted person, so was Laura Dern in those shorts.
Laura Dern in those shorts is important to everyone.
Listen, the Gay Man's Choir did a song about her for a reason.
Someday I'm going to get to cover Marriage Story, which she won for, and you're going to get to find out my hottest take of all time. That movie's actually really good.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
She's really good.
And she's really good in it.
Laura Dern, you're never going to hear this, but I love you.
Hey, Laura Dern, if you do happen to listen to this, if I can get you to participate, will you help me convince Jasmine to cover Wild at Heart? Like now?
I already have it on the list, Ellie. We've talked about this. I don't know about now.
Laura Dern, we love you. We won't bring you into our shenanigans, probably.
Probably not. Anyway, let's talk about the movie that we're here to talk about. Jasmine, you tell your gift story. You started and we just completely overrode you.
No, you are fine. So basically, the reason I first heard of this movie was not even because of Tumblr, although I too have seen those beautiful gifs. I, probably like many a theater kid in high school in the early 2010s, first heard of Victor Victoria. And I'm sorry, Ellie, but once again, Hella is indeed so hot.
Oh no.
Because I first heard of it because Le Jazz Hot was performed by Chris Colfer's character, Kurt Hummel, in Glee.
You forgot his last name?
For a hot second, yes.
Fake fan. And you know, I was actually, you brought this up and I decided to watch the clip. I didn't realize it was from the episode Duets, which is notably an episode where he has to perform a duet by himself because his duet partner backs out because he's afraid of being gay. Kind of. Ish.
Hell is so hot, Ryan Murphy. Hell is so hot.
It's literally a parallel to Victor Victoria.
And also, I gotta say, his costume was fabulous in that. It's like the split suit, where half of it is like sparkly, the other is more traditional suit. Like, mwah.
Listen, Ryan Murphy is not quite enemy for life levels with Aaron Sorkin, but like, the man has a lot to answer for.
Yes. Which sucks because you could argue Glee was a major factor in kind of turning the tide around on gay rights in general, which sucks. I hate to say it, but it's kind of true.
I would argue that unfortunately it was kind of instrumental. It had one of the, for its time slot, one of the most, for the young adults, one of the most important scenes of two men kissing, which are Blaine and Kurt in the piano after the bird dies.
Yeah.
Listen. If I wanted to have a podcast talking about Glee, I would lie down on the train tracks. I'm aware that Glee was an important piece of media to a lot of people, but unfortunately, I was 21 years old, still male presenting, and already extremely cynical when it came out. I had absolutely no patience for it, and every single clip I've seen makes me want to pull my eyes out.
Ellie, I promise I promise you, I stopped watching like halfway through season 2 because I was also getting sick of the bullshit, and it did end up being a bit of a trash fire. But damn it, it's kind of my trash fire, I guess.
We are moving past Glee to talk about Victor Victoria, which is a
Yes.
gay piece of media that I liked.
Yes.
It also, so I want to talk about the songs some more, if I may.
Yep.
I think I'm relieved that they turned this into a musical, and the musical has, so diegetic versus non-diegetic songs.
Yeah, I've seen Cabaret.
Yes, like Cabaret. I think it's really funny that we had to hear the Shady Dame from Seville 3 times, but another thing we heard was flippin' Home on the Range?
Yeah, Robert Preston just randomly singing it, and it's like, okay, you do you, buddy.
I was like, all right, sure.
Sometimes you just want to hear Norman Preston sing. And
Robert Preston.
Robert Preston. Sometimes you just want to hear Robert Preston. That is, I got confused because I was like, it's the same with Norma's musical number. Why is this here? Well, we just want to hear her sing, so shut the fuck up.
And to be fair, she looks,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking respectfully. She can still get it, by the way.
It's giving Miss Adelaide and Guys and Dolls.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking respectfully. I'm looking with lust in my heart.
Everyone's legs in this movie are very good.
Yes, that is very true.
It's just kind of like, I think that the problem at the end of the day with the King and Victoria subplot, and it is more of a subplot than the main plot, if that makes sense. Like, it's a movie of subplots.
Yeah, because there's really not a main plot. It's kind of just shenanigans all the way down.
Yeah, it's the most dramatic of the plot lines, and so it's sort of like kind of sucks all the air out of the room whenever it has to come back.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately that's kind of where I'm landing on it, because like every time we're watching them do their serious thing, and that's not to say there isn't any laughs in it. I'm quite fond of the gag where Squash knocks the door down and then everyone has to like to pick the door up, move it aside, and then put it back when they're entering and exiting that room. Very, very visual movie. A lot of visual comedy.
yeah.
Remember when comedies used to have visual gags?
It was also so bright colored for taking place mostly in, like, nightclubs. Remember when movies had color?
Yeah.
God.
Even the cockroach was popping off with its shiny brown coat.
Project Hail Mary had color, so that was nice.
Project Hail Mary did have color and practical effects.
Yeah.
Mother Mary had a lot of color. You should see Mother Mary.
I'm so mad it left theaters already, and
I was gonna see Mother Mary, but it left theaters when I was in tech.
It was in theaters for like a week. I don't know what happened. God is dead and we're alone in an uncaring universe.
Yeah, that was I can't believe it's gone already. It was in theaters for a week and it was gone. I wanted to see my Sapphic, Anne Hathaway, and Michaela Cole, and I blinked and I missed my chance. Where the fuck is my movie, A24?
Movie theater chains, if you are listening to me, we are entering Pride Month. We were recording this before Pride Month. If you take Girls Like Girls or Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma out of theaters after 1 week, I am coming to your houses. That is a promise.
If we lose, Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma is, if we lose her after a week, I need to see her a minimum of 10 times.
I will crash out. I will truly crash out.
And that's coming from someone who still hasn't watched, I saw the TV Glow, because they're still not really quite ready to grapple with what they would find out if they watched
Bex,
it.
come over. We're watching it now.
I don't know if I'm ready.
Bex!
It is dangerous to go alone. Either watch it with Ellie, or I am willing to trauma bond with you like I did with River.
We are very off topic.
I mean, we're on the topic of queer cinema.
We're on the topic of homophobia, and I will admit, speaking of the Victorian King subplot, I'm not. There's a part of me that is like hackles going up at Victoria's like, we shouldn't be subject to homophobia. We're straight, but like,
yeah.
But I'm like, Ellie, it's the '80s.
Yeah.
It's just it's trying to demonstrate the effects of homophobia. Be nice.
I feel like if you remade this today, we would have a real chance of getting an actual gender fluid Victor Victoria, and I would live for it.
Mason Alexander Park could do it in a heartbeat.
Yes, 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 yes.
I don't know who that is.
Desire.
Well, you're about to. They're making their Broadway debut in a couple months.
Desire?
Yeah.
Did you not watch the Sandman series before we got mad at Neil Gaiman for good reasons?
I did not. I watched like an episode and then everything. Yeah.
Hold, please. Hold, please. I'll send
They
you a
were
picture.
also in the Quantum Leap reboot, and they were also Mary in Oh Mary on the West End.
They are a fabulous non-binary actor. We love them dearly.
They were also in this movie, this indie movie about trans people that Charlie Hunnam was in.
Oh.
That I'm forgetting the name of.
I think I know which one you're talking about. I did not hear
National Anthem?
something like that. I did not hear great things about that, but
You heard good things or bad things
I
about
did not hear great things about that.
it? Ah.
All right, sent it.
That don't like quote me on that, anyone. That's just like my extremely vague memories. Unfortunately, a lot of trans online discourse is 800 firing squads all aimed at each other at once.
God. It's a Mexican standoff.
This is true.
So we're gonna ignore that and we're gonna continue talking about Victor Victoria. Yeah, I think that's sort of I keep talking about that because like there's a montage of them together towards the back half, and I'm just sort of like,
Okay.
why I don't feel like these two people should be together. It's not really, I'm not really feeling like this is a relationship where what are you going to talk about? He likes boxing, you like opera. He wears short skirts, I wear t-shirts. He's
Now-
cheer captain and I'm on the wait, no.
I would agree. I would agree with that assessment.
Are we trying to say that there should have been some lonely lesbian who was a friend of Victoria's pining?
Well, I just think that Julie Andrews could have chemistry with a rock.
Well, yes, of course.
Mhm.
She's an international treasure.
And I like James Garner a lot. Like he's been in a bunch of stuff that I like, but I don't know, like I don't think he's well suited to this role is the long and short of it. I don't think that means he's bad in it.
We needed someone with a lot more charisma to really sell this.
If I may, the other thing about this movie that Blake Edwards has known, may his memory be a blessing, Blake Edwards admitted that he, his own words, copped the fuck out because originally there wasn't ever a scene where King discovered Victoria's gender.
Yeah.
And he added that, like studios being like, ya gotta. And he was like, the studios. But originally, King truly wouldn't have cared if Victoria was a man. And I feel like by adding that bathroom scene, which is, first of all, creepy.
Creepy. Yes.
Creepy. And second of all, completely undercutting the look. At least when what's his name in Mulan was having his confusion, he was gonna go for it anyways.
Shang.
That's sort of the thing I was like circling around. I will also say the bathroom scene also adds a continuity error because like in the next scene he still doesn't know that Victoria is a woman. Which, okay, what I mean, I don't actually. Okay, to be clear, this is not CinemaSins.
No, yeah.
If you ever hear me acting like CinemaSins, you can feel free to beat me playing a ding every time you hit me.
But it makes me feel like it was notably added, like in like a kind of a reshooty quality.
It does, and like it's a wacky scene. Everyone's sneaking around on the balcony. Great physical comedy from Squash, and I think that Garner is really good at selling the discomfort angle, the part where he's like, I want to fuck this person, what does that say about me? But once we get to the second part where he has to be like
cool with it,
a credible romantic interest, he's not as good at he doesn't sell that in this context that well.
Yeah.
I will say, unfortunately, he is responsible for my favorite line. It's just, and it's not even that clever of a line. It's just the way he delivered. It's like, oh, I knew things were going too good to last. Like in response to the slur, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I confess, I laughed.
It happens.
The slur popped out, and I was like, oh, right. It's the 80s.
It's the 80s portraying the 30s.
It's like when you're watching Bill and Ted, and Bill and Ted's a great movie, and then suddenly, whoa, F slur.
Yeah. And then also I'm like, at some at one point, I was like, huh, no one in Paris appears to be French.
I mean, that's just typical Hollywood.
That's typical Hollywood. I know that Julie Andrews wasn't supposed to, none of the main characters are French, but I'm like, we're in Paris and there are not even any, the waiter's not French. No one's French.
The waiter's French. The PI is French.
Also, wait, we haven't talked about the fact that Gimli's there.
Yes, Gimli is there.
What's he doing there? I've never seen him look so tall.
Bex, I need you to understand that for scenes in Lord of the Rings where they needed the hobbits to be slightly shorter than Gimli, they just had them stand up because John Rhys Davies is like 6 feet tall. He's a massive man.
Why does he also look short in Indiana Jones?
He doesn't, in my opinion.
Am I misremembering?
I mean, how tall is Harrison?
Oh yeah, Harrison Ford is also pretty tall.
That might be it.
John Rhys Davies is one of those guys who is like just kind of around, always around, not particularly hard to get into your movie. He's never been like a particularly huge actor, so he'll show up in your fucking direct to video Disney sequel if you dangle $500,000 in front of him. It's not hard. I'm just remembering that he was in the fucking Dungeon Siege movie from like 2007. Like, this is not.
You know what? And he reunited with Julie Andrews in the early 2000s for Princess Diaries 2. He's the bad guy in Princess Diaries 2, Jazz!
Yeah, I know. It just took me a second to like, oh my god, that's right.
God, that movie is so
Insane.
dear to me.
Oh yeah, that too.
Anyway, this is Ellie did not watch that as a kid. I watched Princess Diaries 1, not 2.
Oh, but Princess Diaries 2 has Julie Andrews returning to singing for the first time since 1995.
And Chris Pine, baby Chris Pine, come on.
No, but yes, that's fine. But Julie Andrews returning to singing publicly for the first time since 1995, and she did it in one take, and the camera operator was weeping.
Yes, these burly tattooed camera guys were crying because they hadn't heard Julie Andrews sing in almost 2 decades.
I've seen the behind the scenes for that film a lot.
Yeah, me too, as you could tell.
But also, Julie's also never sounded better to me. I mean, it's so interesting. I never heard, like, obviously I grew up with Mary Poppins and stuff. This is because she's older now. This is a later age of her voice. Voices change as you age. And it's also she accesses a lower register that she never really did in her peak roles. Like, we know her as Mary Poppins soprano, Maria soprano, Guinevere. I don't think she ever sings below. I don't think she ever even gets into like a range that a tenor could attempt. But all these songs sit at such a nice place in her register while still letting her show off her literally glass breaking, which I think they do that joke too many times.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
High C's or B flats or whatever they are. And it's just this movie is a great showcase with Julie Andrews because she also is a master of comedy. She's very funny. And then she's able to turn the seriousness on at the drop of a hat. Now, does the movie necessarily need that or work with that? I would say maybe not. But I do understand Music Man refused to do the Broadway show because he's like, it'll just be a vanity project for Blake Edwards. And I was like, for Blake Edwards? Baby, Julie's the one they're paying attention to. Blake Edwards is nice and all, but that's not the star. She's the director. Julie's the star. And I'm happy to report my current boss's husband was in the original cast of Victor Victoria. Julie Andrews would fly in tea and scones every Sunday from England. She is exactly the person you think she is.
God.
And apparently Liza Minnelli was a lot of fun. And then the third actress in it wasn't as good.
I will say that, simply put, I do agree that this is like an incredible showcase for Julie Andrews, and that's good because I'm going to hit you with my actual hot take about Julie Andrews movies, which is, yeah, I like this a lot more than more than Sound of Music. I mean, I like this movie.
Yeah.
Have you seen her in any of her like femme? She has a femme fatale moment, which is crazy.
Mhm.
I've seen her in other stuff. Can't think of any right now.
She's in Shrek
Noted.
2
Yeah.
specifically. She's in Shrek 2 and 3. She's the mom.
Yeah.
Although I brought that up. Happy anniversary, Shrek, by the way.
She's also in Aquaman.
Yeah. Yes.
Now you didn't have to, we don't have to talk.
Kai Julie Andrews, baby.
We don't have to talk about that ever.
We don't ever have to talk about Aquaman.
Because Sam already talked about it on their podcast with me and Agatha Vile and Nick.
More to the point, one of the things you'll note if you go down Oscar winners is that there's like 2 superhero movies that have won Oscars, so I never have to talk about superhero movies. What do I think of that superhero movie? You'll never find out.
You will have to talk about the Suicide Squad movie one day.
We will have to talk about the Suicide Squad movie.
It won an Oscar.
You've explicitly referenced it, so
I used to reference it in the old
Yes.
intro. Like, people know what I think
Yes.
about that movie.
She's 90?
yeah.
That is how time works, yes?
I know, I don't like it either.
No, I'm going back to my notes. We can like try to get back on topic. Can you tell audience that we're all ADHD?
Allegedly.
I feel like if you like sliced out the King subplot, or even just had King like had the break be permanent, the movie kind of just becomes a lot about how gender presentation is kind of fluid.
Yeah.
You know, people look at Victoria as Victor, expecting to see a man, and so they see a man, and that's sort of, I mean, like, there's that extremely, if I'm being honest, extremely weird dance sequence towards the middle where
I kind of loved it.
I mean, I'm not complaining.
Oh, the masks! The masks!
Yeah, there's quite a lot happening there.
Yeah, so dear listeners, basically it starts with what appears to be a bunch of femme presenting people facing the audience, but a couple of them look a little uncanny valley for reasons that I couldn't quite figure out until they turned around to mask presenting, and you realize, oh, not only is it mask presenting, there are masks involved. M-A-S-K.
Mask presentings are wearing masks!
Yes!
The men are wearing masks on their male side, and the women are wearing masks on their female side, which is just like, this is what I'm saying. Like, this is all kind of gender fuckery.
It's very it's like message. That's what it is.
Putting this under my in the same kind of like file, and I can't actually write this particular movie because I'm not this, but like putting it in the same file as Some Like It Hot. Like, so we've got the trans mask version, we got the trans man rewrite of this movie like in the bag, right? Like, this is a no-brainer, right?
Or at least gender fluid.
Well, no, for Some Like It Hot, I feel like it.
Some Like It Hot is trans femme is the right. That is the way rewrite. That is the one I could do because that's me. I can't write a trans man version of this because
That is the rewrite. That is where
The musical went, right? Like they went out and out non-binary.
the musical went non-binary, leaning towards trans femme, but mostly non-binary. But the musical also had half the musical had a pretty good representation plot in the character that like ends up with the guy at the end realizing that they actually want to be a woman. The other half is like, look at how ugly Christian Borle is as a woman.
Yeah, that's rough.
It was
Oh well.
bad.
yeah.
They almost got it.
No, they didn't.
They almost got it with the first half, I mean.
Speaking as someone who had to like, who not only, how do I put this in a way that doesn't make me sound demented? Fuck it. I'm always sound demented. We're just gonna do it. Speaking as someone who spent a solid chunk of her adolescence sort of digging around for sapphic representation in movies, for reasons that she wouldn't understand until she was much older, and also has a like entirely separate list of queer Oscar winners. Queer representation in movies is kind of up and down. Trans representation in Oscar movies is well, we've got Silence of the Lambs, we've got The Crying Game, we've got Boys Don't Cry,
Dallas Buyers Club.
Dallas Buyers Club. Who's excited for when I finally cover Amelia Perez?
like, unfortunately, queer representation has been deeply complicated through the years due to oppression. And so, unfortunately, I do think we all have at least one emotional support problematic representation of queer people.
Do we?
Yes, you do. You absolutely do. Everyone does.
I mean, maybe Bex is too young for it because they grew up in a much better time for it.
I don't think I do.
I mean, like, we're not going to do, I'm not going to ask you to give me a rundown
Yeah, no.
on queer media that means a lot to you, but also it's because the targets are, like, constantly shifting.
That too. Also, I would argue Glee counts.
Glee doesn't mean a lot to me.
Oh, fair enough.
Shockingly, I wasn't really a Glee guy.
Lucky. Smart. Wish that were me.
I didn't really. The weird thing is, because
Rocky Horror, technically?
I didn't like grow up knowing I was queer. It was like a revelation I came to like mid puberty ish.
True.
And then the non
That is growing up, Bex.
Yeah.
Well, okay, yeah, but some people like know.
Yeah.
I didn't come out officially, despite some false starts, until I was 30. Like, I was extremely attached to sapphic media for reasons that I could not quite articulate. Like, I was really excited about Haley Kiyoko in 2015. I could not have told you why. And I would get very evasive if you asked.
Well, I guess mine would be Rent.
Yeah.
Rent is extraordinarily problematic.
Rent is complicated.
Rent is complicated.
Oh, we'll get into it eventually.
Whatever else you can say about Rent, and we're not going to talk about Rent because the movie is hilariously not eligible for this podcast.
But my next representation was Fun Home, and that's excellent. So I really don't have the problem every other queer person has, I guess.
I mean, Rent, I would argue, does, especially with how people talk about it online.
Rent is a very important piece of queer media in terms of where it moved the needle on queer representation. It is still a story about the AIDS crisis told from the perspective of whitey McStraight person who's pissed off that his bi girlfriend is with a woman, and where they can't puzzle out whether or not the only trans representation is a trans woman or a man in drag, and who was introduced murdering a dog. Like, let's be real about what Rent is.
This is very true. You have said nothing unfactual.
Yeah, the mark is more complicated than that, but we'll get into it.
We're not getting into it. We're not.
I mean, on my podcast eventually.
I'm not getting into Rent. I'm not getting into Rocky Horror, which is a movie that I love a lot, even while I recognize, holy shit, this movie hates my guts.
My friend, my acquaintance Anania went on in Rocky Horror the other day. At least this production's got like a lot of trans people in the ensemble.
Yeah, and Michaela J. Rodriguez is playing Columbia, at least.
Yes, that is true.
Over a year ago at this point, our friend of all three of us, Justin, was on my episode about The Whale.
Oh.
And The Whale does not treat heavy people very well.
No,
and Justin, as the only one of the three of us, I think, who's met Justin in person, and he says this in the episode, he is heavier than all three of us.
Mm-hmm.
But he really liked The Whale. And he said that part of that is that The Whale kind of spoke to anxieties that he had about himself, about how he is perceived. And I'm not going to lie, there are parts of, like, The Crying Game or I don't know, fucking Silence of the Lambs that does feel like this at least makes me understand how a lot of people in society see me. And that doesn't make them good representation. It can make them good art, which is not the same thing at all. Good representation can be bad art.
This is very true.
And I think that while none of us are transmasculine, my only input from my transmasculine partner, who's not my girlfriend, we're not going into Ellie's relationship dynamics right now.
No, of course not.
I just wanted to say that in case people thought that I was calling my boyfriend my girlfriend earlier in the episode. Anyway, I got derailed.
A girl can have many partners.
A girl can have many partners, and I do. But the way that he talked about it, he just kind of brushed off like, oh yeah, I've been watching that regularly since I was a kid. Like, just sort of, and then wandered off to go do other things because he's kind of like that.
He is kind of like that.
He's just kind of, He's just kind of like that. We love Zandy. He's just kind of like that.
We love a guy who's just kind of like that.
Anyway, before I get derailed again, the point I guess I'm making is I can see Victor Victoria being a trans man's crying game, or I don't know, a movie that might not totally understand, or Some Like It Hot, a movie that doesn't totally understand who you are, but is like close enough that when you're in the doldrums, and you will be,
Mhm.
you can see yourself a little bit there.
Hey, and listen, as far as that goes, it's definitely better at talking about gender than She's the Man, probably.
I would say, as a non-binary gender fluidity, I'm never quite sure what labels are annoying. But as someone that doesn't really see, that certainly doesn't see themselves as a woman and certainly doesn't see themselves as a man, the ambiguity factor of Victor in this movie really spoke to me. Especially seeing them as Victor for the first time, I was like, the androgyny, which I androgyny is something that I find fascinating and not annoying. Androgyny is something I know I'm never going to achieve for myself. And androgyny is not and should not, does not have to be the goal of all non binary people. Non binary people do not owe you androgyny. We can present however we want to present. That being said, I think it's amazing how they erase Julie Edge's boobs.
Truly.
She's skinny.
That is true.
That's the other, okay, that's the other thing. Like, I'm a curvy person, and I would love to see a curvy non-binary person. Would love to see a non-binary person with boobs that likes their boobs in media. That's
Mhm.
never gonna happen.
I would love to see a curvy person in movies.
I would love
Yes.
to see a curvy person in movies. I would love to see a curvy person. I would love to see a fat Carrie Mike Flanagan. Me and my friend were talking about this the other
Yeah,
day.
no, God, don't get me started. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure she's gonna be great, but come on! Can we please get a fat Carrie before I die?
It's kind of distressing to me. I was talking about this with a friend of mine the other day, that like we had Carrie has been remade so many times, and we had a version of it that that had not only a queer director but had a lesbian playing Carrie, and it did not engage with that angle at all.
Are you talking about the miniseries? Or, oh wait, no, the most recent remake. I'm sorry, that was dumb of me.
Yeah, from like 2013.
In fairness, she was 15. I'm not sure if she knew.
She didn't come out until very recently, but still, like, you'd think that they would like engage with that a little. But that director is also, I believe that's also the director of Boys Don't Cry, speaking of transmasculine representation.
Oh, is it? Oh no.
Really?
I think so.
That's crazy, dude.
Kimberly Pierce. We'll talk about Boys Don't Cry someday. I very much don't want to.
Oh,
Yeah, that's the
sorry.
same director.
I'm so
Ooh.
sorry. But Ellie, do not get me started on Sue Carey. We will be here all night.
Mmm. Delicious.
The central, I mean, like, that's sort of one of the things, that's honestly one of the failings of this movie, if you step into 2026 eyes, and it's not a
That there's no Yuri?
I mean, that is always a fail. Look, directors, here is your rule. All directors are legally required to sit down and watch Love Lies Bleeding, and okay, that is the minimum amount of Yuri you're allowed to have in your movie. This is the minimum.
What's the scale of Yuri to gore that's allowed?
As much gore as you want.
Well,
I've seen Tragedy Girls.
on the scale of Bound to Love Lies Bleeding, how bloody are your lesbians?
Every lesbian I've ever wrote is at a Tragedy Girls level gory. Bex, you know me.
I do. Ellie, you should read my friend's. Actually, I'm gonna make you watch my friend's lesbian cannibals play.
Hell yeah.
Lesbian final girl cannibals play.
Hell yeah.
Oh, I knew about the Final Girls. I did not know about the Cannibals.
Written by a trans man.
Also hell yeah.
It's great.
It is that like the stepping out of 1982 eyes and stepping into enlightened hell year 2026 eyes. There is a lot of gender in this movie. I think that's fair. Am I being unfair when I say that?
No, That's very true.
And then to slip into criticism mode, a lot of it kind of gets left on the table.
Yeah, it fully gets dropped after that one conversation.
Yeah, Norma comes bull rushing out of the bedroom saying, turns out Victor is actually Victoria, and they cut right before she says, and she fucks better than all of you combined.
Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah, that was totally left on the cutting room floor, Ellie. I'm sure
Yeah.
it was.
We can dream, Bex.
Look, Bex, I have so little.
Do we dream?
I dream
I dream of Jeannie.
I dreamed a dream of time gone by. Anyway, speaking of Oscar-winning movies,
I have to be on that one, I beg you.
if I roll it up, I'll let you know. I feel like at some point, if they were to remake this film, and please do not remake this film, they would in fact have to address the gender of it all. Address, hey man, it's kind of fucky that like the exact same person gets treated differently when she throws on a suit and cuts her hair. And like that's good. I like that. I like in cross-dressing movies when the lines of gender are kind of blurry. They should be.
Mm-hmm.
Gender's fun.
Yes. Sometimes.
It's fun when you don't get the hierarchy involved.
It's fun when you don't get the hierarchy involved, and then the rest of the time it's a horrible thing happened to me on the way to the gender this morning. I feel like, yeah, I think that could be, frankly, why it didn't win as many Oscars as it could have. It ends when it stops talking about gender. The movie as a whole kind of ends up kind of slight. It's not a slam necessarily, but it's not like dense as a movie goes.
Yeah, it's not really about much when you take that away.
That having been said, Academy, you're gonna give Best Supporting Actor to an Officer and a Gentleman over Robert Preston. And come on, man. This might be again me tipping my hand too early. I really don't like An Officer and a Gentleman. 82 was a year of movies that I have complicated feelings on. Hope I get to cover E.T. one day.
I have many thoughts about E.T. actually.
I don't think I've watched it since I was a kid.
I'm going to just type something in the chat, and audience, you're going to hear their reactions. Please unmute your mics.
Okay.
Okay.
E.T. ride at Universal scared me a bit as a child, I'm not gonna lie.
Aw. You know, this doesn't surprise me at all, actually.
Okay, people get mad at me for that opinion.
Maybe Disclosure Day will be the alien movie that Spielberg makes that finally works for you.
I like Close Encounters.
I'm about to start Falling Skies, which is Steven Spielberg's Alien TV show.
I watched that with my folks at one point. That was decent.
It's Noah Wyle. And Doug Jones is an alien in it, because every good sci-fi show has Doug Jones as an alien in it. Side note, please support the Kickstarter they're making for a Doug Jones documentary.
Ooh.
Yeah, I was debating doing that thing where I do sort of towards the end of an episode where I'm like, I'm gonna talk about the other Oscar winners, but show of hands, who wants to skip talking about Gandhi?
I don't know it,
Yeah.
but it sounds bad.
Ben Kingsley does brownface.
Oh!
Which is wild.
And it's not even the only time he does it!
Yep.
He does it a lot in his career.
And it's weird!
There's some debate, I know, about whether or not it's technically brownface since he is of Indian descent, but also, come on, man.
Come on. It's the same as how what happened with Rita Moreno in West Side Story was also brownface.
Yeah.
And at least she had the decency to try to say, hey, you don't have to do this, you know.
I mean, it's also really exciting to get to see John Hammond win Best Director.
Yeah. Sure.
We miss Richard Attenborough.
We do.
Yeah, it's not a year that I'm particularly looking forward to talking about outside of that. I don't like An Officer and a Gentleman. I don't like Gandhi. Sophie's Choice is a bummer.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
But at least, and this is something I shouldn't be saying, at least Meryl Streep was really hot in it.
I think of all the people on this podcast panel, you are the one most allowed to say this.
Tootsie, another gendery movie.
Not a gendery movie, but Meryl Streep is a gender vibe.
No, I was saying Tootsie is a gendery movie. We're not.
Oh,
Oh.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I don't. I
We don't acknowledge. I don't acknowledge Santino Fontana won a Tony for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. I didn't know they were allowed to do that.
My favorite thing about I've never seen the movie. My favorite thing about Tootsie is Dustin Hoffman cried when he saw himself as a woman for the first time because he wasn't beautiful, and I think the makeup person was like, "Well, we can't make magic, man." I don't know if that's accurate or true, but that's how it happened to me.
Dang.
You know what? I think I'm just gonna cut short all of the discussion about movies from this year and say, hey, you know what? Missing. Really good movie. Total downer. Bam.
There's a movie called Bam.
No, that's me closing the conversation. Just sort of.
Oh fuck! I was like, "What's that about?"
I mean, there probably is a movie called Bam, but not in the Oscars this year.
Was this one of the last like movie musicals that got nominated for a lot of Oscars? Would you say?
No, there were. I mean, nominated for? Definitely not. Les Miserables got a bunch of Oscar nominations.
Well, then one, I guess maybe.
It only won one Oscar.
What?
Yep, it only won one Oscar.
Oh, bro.
I'm sure there are others later. Like, I'm not. You're making me look at my fucking spreadsheets, Bex. Did you?
Look at your spreadsheets. Do your job.
It's not my job. You don't control me. I'm doing this because I want to.
I love you.
You hate me. Everyone hates me.
Yeah.
Incorrect. Stop it.
I am loathed and despised by everyone.
Stop it.
All right, so this is the 55th ceremony. What else do we got? I mean, Yentl won some Oscars.
That's why Amazon Prime automatically started recommending me Yentl after this movie finished playing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the other. Right! Because that's the other thing. The Yentl directed itself because she wasn't nominated.
Oh boy.
The Barbara of it all.
Yeah.
I've also never seen Yentl. Once again, big musical theater fan, bad movie musical theater fan.
We're gonna skip over whether or not things like The Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast count.
I would say technically,
Yeah.
well, those were nominated before they created the animated category, right?
I mean, the best original song Oscar was for a very long time just the Disney Oscar. You know, if Disney didn't have something else up there, then maybe. But for a long time, it was just the Disney Oscar.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's because their songs are really good.
That is also true.
One thing you gotta admit, Phil Collins cooked.
Phil Collins did cook.
Yeah.
I feel like there were other Oscar-winning. Evita won some Oscars.
No. Does that mean Andrew Lloyd Webber has an Oscar?
Almost certainly.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Let's go watch Cat's the Jellicle Ball again.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, me too. That was a good Topsy-Turvy. Yeah, there are other movies, Chicago, Bex.
Oh, duh.
Oh, well, that's the last good movie musical.
We'll puzzle out someday with
Controversial.
That's a commercial. I'm about to be killed by Jasmine. End the pod. End the
Dream
pod.
Like, does Dreamgirls count as a musical?
Yes, it's a musical.
Okay, so Dreamgirls.
Oh, Dreamgirls was. I'm so sorry. You're right. Dreamgirls was slightly after Chicago.
Mhm.
Dreamgirls was the last good.
Extremely controversial. No, I'm not gonna kill you.
Bex is just like hot takes everywhere. And of course, we forgot
I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
multiple Oscar-winning film, musical no less, musical comedy apparently no less, Amelia Perez.
I was about to say, if you say Billy Press, I have a fucking shoe.
Come get me.
I have a shoe to throw.
That's my culture. What are you doing?
I just had shoes nearby.
I'll kidnap you and make you watch I Saw the TV Glow.
I am not ready for to think about why I identify so much with Jewish men.
You're never ready for I Saw the TV Glow. You just gotta do it.
I'll never be ready for wanting to be Noah Wiley. I'll never be ready for it. Leave me alone.
All right. While Bex fails to get ready for that, does anyone have any final thoughts on Victor Victoria?
Julie Andrews, I'm so glad you sued that doctor, girl.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you got your money. I'm so glad
What did we lose?
that I think everyone should also watch the filmed pro shot of the Broadway show. I know I'm gonna do that later. If
Mhm.
that's the last, if that's how your voice had to go out, what the songs in this movie are also quite good. I feel like we didn't really touch as much. The songs are lovely.
The songs are lovely. They're not really part of the plot at all.
They're not part of the plot, but the last song that she sings is absolutely lovely. And what a brilliant song to go out on if you had to.
Yeah.
But she's not dead, and she's still cooking, and she's being Lady Whistledown and Bridgerton, and everything's fine.
Hell yeah.
She'll live forever. It's fine.
Jasmine?
Look. I will start the ritual. We will figure something out. And just give me more gender fluid characters or give me death.
Hey, Toddy, do you want to go out and, bitch people out all the time? Sounds like a fun evening.
Oh, you two would be the best friends.
That's my final thought. Jasmine,
Mm-hmm.
do you have anything you'd like to plug?
I do indeed. I am the host of An E Tree Telling, the podcast where we explore all the ways old tales are made new. Somebody tried to convince me this was a 12th night at one point. I looked it up, they lied. But the original film this is remaking will be in the public domain pretty soon, actually. So look forward to that. And you can find me at Favor Vieira on all the socials. Oh, and also contact the FCC to speak out against them trying to add an extra rating on queer media, like to automatically rate it as mature. Fuck that.
Fuck that. Do contact the FCC. Bex, do you have anything you would like to plug?
Support trans kids. Support your local advocacy groups. Fuck the government. And Julie Andrews is the queen of the world.
Wise words.
As always, our host can be found on Blue Sky, Medium, and Letterboxd at LSR42, and on Tumblr at Football in Tuxedos. This podcast can be found on both YouTube and Spotify. If you liked what you heard, maybe give us a comment and tell us what you liked, or just like the video if it's on YouTube. Subscribe. Make sure you get new episodes. They come out every other Wednesday as of right now. And if you didn't like what you heard, I'm sorry.
Thanks to both Bex and Jasmine for coming out. This was a ball and a half, but...
Coming out, you say?
Yes. But... for every feast must come a famine. For every high must come a low. And for every great Pride Month episode, we apparently have to have one terrible. So I have to ask about our next movie. Is this real life? Is this just fantasy? I feel like I'm caught in a landslide with no escape from reality.
Not this! Anything but this!
Never has those lyrics been said so hauntingly.
And tonight he got an 8-minute standing ovation for playing a gay man in a new movie at Cannes.
But, everyone, please join us next time to reward my suffering as we talk about Bohemian Rhapsody.
Mama!
Mama, ooh, indeed.
Hope to see you there.